Hello artists, welcome back. We are going to work on a pop-up card today. You're going to need a piece of construction paper. It can be a color like one of these, or it could be white, about the size of a 9 by 12 inch sheet of paper. You're also going to need 2 sheets of white printer paper. You're going to need scissors, a glue stick, and if you are going to be mailing this, you're going to need an envelope. The reason I have 2 sheets of printer paper is because this part is going to be inside my card that's going to hold up the pop-up. So I want it a little bit thicker. This is a little flimsy by itself. If you have white paper that's thicker than printer paper and you want to use that instead, it's 2 sheets, that's fine. So I'm going to take my glue and I'm going to put a very good coat on one sheet. I go around the whole edge and then kind of like a zigzag back and forth so that I have a good amount. And then I'm going to place my second sheet. Don't forget to screw this down before you put the cap on. Place my second sheet right over top. Line it up as best you can. Okay? If it's not perfect, that's okay because we're going to trim this sheet. So it doesn't matter if it's not perfectly lined up. Okay, so look how I'm smoothing this down. I'm really trying to get all the paper stuck together really, really good. I want to make a nice smooth piece. No bubbles, hopefully. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to take your sheet that you just glued together and then your outside sheet, line up really nice. You're going to fold it over, all of them all together. Try and match the corners up best you can. I like to put my thumb kind of down in the middle and then smooth out one side at a time. Look how hard I'm pushing down to make a really nice crease. You might need help with that step because these are a bunch of pieces of paper all together now. So it's kind of like a book. Outer, there's your white, and there's your back cover. Now, I've got all these kind of pieces hanging off the edge. Don't worry about that. What we need to do next is, notice how this is too big, it won't fit in the envelope, so we need to measure how big we want this to be. So if I put the envelope right kind of on top, I can see that this is hanging off quite a bit. So if I just put my pen mark right here, it would be exactly the same size as the envelope. I need it to be a little bit smaller. So I'm going to put a little mark where the envelope is. You see that little black mark? But when I cut, I'm going to cut a little bit inside of that line. So this is where if I cut this way, it'd be exactly the same size, but I need it a little smaller. So I'm going to cut move over a little bit, maybe to there. Try and cut pretty straight, and this is a lot of pieces of paper. There you go. So, like I did a little bit of a curve line. Just clean it up a little bit. I'm not worried about it being perfect, okay? It's a handmade card. Okay, so now we got that part works. If I put my envelope over, I can see lining up this side. The yellow is still sticking out over here. So now I need to cut this side down a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to line up. Here's the envelope, here's my card. Line those up. I'll put a little mark here on my card, but remember I need to cut inside that line, make it a little smaller. So maybe about right here. And then next what we're going to do is see if it fits. Give it a little test. Does it go? Is it going to work? It's a tight fit. I got it closed. But guys, I'm going to trim just a tiny bit more off because I don't want it such a tight fit. Okay, so now that we have that part done, you can see this is the outside of our card, inside of our card. I'm going to take this part out and I want to make this a little bit smaller so there's kind of a border. I can see that. So I'm going to cut this one even smaller. So I'm going to go in maybe about that much. Straight down, straight across. See if I can clean up my cut line. Okay, let's try that. So when I open my card up, see how I can see a border of yellow all the way around? So now this sheet is what we're going to work on next. I'm going to close it. Find about the middle point. And if you want to, you can even put like a little dot just where you think the middle is, somewhere around there. Like if I folded it in half, it's pretty close. Okay, so we're going to do 2 little cuts straight. Make sure that you have it on the fold, not on the open side, okay? We're going to do a cut about like here, and then move over to about here and do another cut. And then you're going to open it up. See how this is cut through? Now I need this to come this way. So push it through and see if we can maybe pinch it a little bit to get it to go. See how it wants to go this way now? Now you can just fold your card. It should. Looks like there's a little notch out of it, right? So when I open it up, it pops out like that. This is actually a pretty good size for putting and adding a pop-up to. So if you cut your card, it'll fit pretty nicely. Whatever gets glued on will go on this side. So then we're going to put it inside here. So I want to glue this part down to in here now. So I'm going to turn my card over. Put glue all over this, but not on this part, okay? So start here, all the way around the edge. Make sure you get the edges. Go around that part. Okay, so I'm going to put it right up into the corner. Put it where you want it. Smooth it down. Great. Notice for now at least, I'm just not going to, I'll leave this one open. I don't mind if that one is loose. I just want this part glued down. Okay guys, I'm ready to work on this little pop-up, what I'm going to put there. So do you remember when I trimmed this paper down? This is my sheet of paper that's 2 stuck together. Might as well use that. So I'm going to cut a piece out. Let's see. I want to make a rectangle. And what I'm going to write is the word love right here. It's going to be my pop-up. So let me cut pretty close to rectangle. I'm not being a perfectionist about this because I like that it looks handmade. Let's see if that is going to work. Maybe a little bit too tall. If you're doing something really tall, you want this to be bigger, so maybe I should have cut it down a little bit further so that this part stands up taller. So I'm just gonna, I think that will probably work. So before I glue this piece onto my pop-up, I want to do my little drawing on here, whatever the pop-up's gonna be or say, so that when I glue it on, I wouldn't be able to draw this if it was already glued on. So I'm gonna write L-O-V-E. Okay, next I'm going to put a lot of glue on this part. This part is where it's going to attach to here. So I'm going to put it right like that, close it, smooth it down. Let's check it. Did it work? It did. So when it pops up, you can see love. But I'm worried it's not dry yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close it. Maybe put a book on top of it for a while. And make sure it's nice and glued down. Wait a few minutes. Then when you open it up, there you go. You can decorate the rest of your card now. I like how this is looking so far, but I just think this one blue heart is looking a little lonely. So I still have a little bit of blue paper scraps left. So why don't we add a couple more? And just to show you how to do that, I'm going to take this paper, fold it in half, not really in half, just make a nice fold. And then I'm going to draw half a heart. And I'm going to do a second one. It's kind of like you're drawing a letter C, but instead of making it come round this way, it kind of trails off down that way. Okay. I'm going to cut this out to make it easier. It's easier to cut a small piece like that. Okay. Cut with one hand, turn with the other. So your scissors are only cutting, the cutting hand is only cutting like this. And this hand is turning, okay? That's how we get a nice round shape. Hey, that was a good one. Even impressed myself. Okay, let's do it again. And cut a little bit inside the line so I don't see the pen mark. So I'm gonna cut a little inside my heart. And I have a lot of practice, you guys, so if yours doesn't turn out perfect like this the first time, don't sweat it, okay? This took a lot of years of practice to get a heart cut out that way. You can do it over and over again as many times as you need to practice, okay? By the way, if it turns out too flat right here, you can just cut. You want to close it up. Let's say this kind of came across flat right here. Close it up. And you want to make this more of an angle. So you're going to cut down like this. See how that made it more come up more? Just a tip for you. Okay, so look at, and mine aren't, they don't even look the same. They look different now. So let's see, where should I put these? Maybe here and here. I like how it kind of surrounds the love. What if I just glued one side and then the heart flaps in the breeze? Let's do that for fun. Okay, so I'm just gonna put glue on this half of the heart. These will be kind of pop up also. Okay, so I'm gonna put it like about here. Tap it, turn it around so I can get it, rub my finger. Okay, now we're done with the inside of our card and it's time to move on to the front of our card, which we're going to talk about in part 2 of this video. You will see on the front of this card that I've written Mom in cursive. And if you don't know how to write in cursive, that's okay because I'm going to show you. I'm also going to show you how to address your envelope to make it really cute and make the person who's receiving it feel really special. I hope you will join us in part 2.